In what circumstances should you file the response? If you've listened to my podcast and my videos, you know that I file these cases anywhere in California as a default with written agreement. And for those of you who call and we have those consultations and they tell me, Tim, I watched your videos and I want to do a default with written agreement. I love it. You've done so much due diligence. You already know the game plan. You know why we're doing it. And it makes it just so much easier because I don't have to explain that process to you because I've talked about it many times in videos. But there is going to be a time that you're going to want to file a response. So I want to go over a couple of those, and I do not want you to consider this legal advice, but this is what I would tell you in certain cases. So when I'm handling your case and it's amicable and I'm working with you and your spouse, you're using me as a neutral third party and I'm in full control of the process. I shouldn't say that. You are in full control of all the decisions and all that, but I'm in control of as far as working with both of you. So I know no one's going off off the radar, doing something else with some other paralegal. I don't have to worry about some documents being filed that I'm not filing because nothing's going to be filed that I don't decide to file. So there's no issue in not filing a response because nothing happens automatically after 30 days. I don't even have you sign the notice of acknowledgement until we're signing the judgment package. So you actually haven't been technically served, even though I backdate it to the day the case was filed. So we're not losing any time. But I want to talk about the times you probably should file a response. I kind of led to that a little bit in the intro here. So the cases where I discussed where the spouse had hired a paralegal and the paralegal service would not work with the other party, and we had a couple of days left before the 30 days came up. Those are cases where I'm going to say, you know what, it's safer to file your response, because what will happen is what can happen is if you don't file the response in time in a case that's where you guys are not in agreement, usually what will be recommended, and I think incorrectly so, is to file the request in or default that blocks you from filing a response. All that does is really mess up your case, and because a default can be set aside, it's just going to cause you a lot of problems. We'll have cases that people that come to us with cases where the default's already been filed, and I'll say, why did you file the default without the judgment package? They said, well, I didn't know we could do that. I said, well, are you guys in agreement? They said, yes. I said, okay, well, even though the default's filed, we can still turn in a default with the agreement. You just can't respond anymore. So in this case, I said, hey, the response, let's get your response in. It's just a safe bet to do. And the way I answer the question, so I'm not giving people legal advice, said, look, if you had an attorney, they would be advising you to file a response, because that's what it says to do. It says in the summons, if you've been served, you have 30 days to file a response, and all the scary language that your spouse will get everything they want in the petition if you don't respond. So that's what we did in 3 cases this week.